It's all Trump's fault. Why is he still the betting favorite? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, October the 20th. The month flies by. And of course, if you saw the interview that Kamala embarrassed herself on Bret Baier, everything she said was always it's Trump's fault. It was never her fault. The question was asked, well, you've been in office 3.5 years. What have you done? And of course, nothing has been done. And we continue to hear the same from everybody. Everything is Trump's fault. So I guess if you lost your job, it's Trump's fault. If you won the lottery, it's not Trump's fault. Again, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing and watching everybody blame. And we'll get more of this in my commentary, but it kind of makes you wonder. In the meantime, we've got Biden stepping out and threatening to cut off stuff for Israel as they kill the leader of Hamas. Again, I think this is we're dealing with our only ally in the Middle East. Okay, do you think that maybe we might want to help them? But of course, if you're watching how this administration runs this country, you've got gangs taking over in New York. You've got judges trying to go against the former president, which is not so supposedly done right before the election. I mean, Chuck denies Trump request to delay releasing Smith's evidence until after the election. I mean, it's amazing how the economy is falling apart. Okay, inflation is rising. Interest rates have gone up almost every day. And just to give you a bearing, the 10-year notes were 3.4 on the day the Fed cut rates. They are now 4.1. Okay, so they're up substantially since then, which is what I've always told you, that the Fed funds rate has nothing to do with the interest rate that you pay. It has everything to do with what the banks do and how they can get more money out of you, because the spread gets bigger in which they get the money. Industrial production continues to decline with a huge negative revision. And this is something that, again, I think we have to keep asking the question that we get revisions. It's what is the headline number? I mean, it means nothing. You don't get true facts. Okay. Again, it's CBS is being sued for false information. Now they're going after Fox. I mean, it would be nice if we got just the news. I mean, that would be a pleasure for a change. As you know, I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat. I'm a libertarian, and I want some fiscal responsibility, but I'd also like some responsibility from our voters. I mean, from our news people. We've got election interference from Meta, and one of their engineers admits that Facebook censors anything that's negative against Kamala. I mean, we're going to have communism or communism coming here. This is what they want. I mean, can't you understand and see where the problems are in this country? Okay, more problems have been created. Now, we don't get real numbers, but when they finally show up, just like the violent crime, okay, suddenly we saw more violent crime, and that is not something that has to be reported. So you know that it's being covered up. And of course, we've got Halloween around the corner, and who's going to be able to afford to give away chocolate candy that has gone through the roof with the price of cocoa and the inflation that we're seeing? I mean, it may scare many of the consumers away. And as of course I mentioned, I believe that Harris was a train wreck on the Bret Baier interview because she wasn't prepared. She didn't have the microphones in her ears, and she kept arguing and yelling over him. He couldn't even ask a question. She shows up 15 minutes late, does a 20-minute interview that was supposed to be 30, and every other word out of her mouth was it's Trump's fault. Okay. The feds admit that child sex trafficking reports triple under Harris and Biden. Now, this is something that I find always interesting when we look at the big picture here. Okay. And this is neither a Democrat or a Republican issue. This is a combined issue because it is, in my opinion, that they know the trafficking is going on and that people are getting paid off for these things. Okay. Again, nothing gets done without money involved. We've seen a lot of illegal things from the Jeffrey Epstein and all the things that have gone on that make you always question. Okay. That's because somebody's getting paid off. Okay. And supposedly, P. Diddy's going to bring something out that's going to bring down a lot of people as well. And again, remember, life comes down to two things. One is always money. Okay. And I'm not accusing anybody, but again, this couldn't happen unless somebody was getting paid off, in my opinion. Okay. CBS caught in another news huge scandal. I mean, that 60 Minutes was a joke. To edit that interview afterwards was just criminal, okay? And the New York Police Department admits that they're having trouble controlling the foreign gangs that are being imported, okay? The migrant gangs that are coming in from Venezuela are torturing the police department. And where else are they doing this? Again, we kept hearing Tim Walz about how great Minnesota was with all their peaceful protests. Does anybody remember how peaceful they were, looting and burning down the town? Okay. Communism strikes again, increasing numbers of Americans getting trapped in credit card debt. And look at the credit card debt. Credit card debt is ridiculous. And of course, the interest rate you are paying on that credit card debt is ridiculous. We have so many problems, and yet the migrants get free hotel. They're getting welfare money. Are you happy as a citizen paying for the benefit of foreign or illegal immigrants that are coming in this country? Are you happy that your tax dollars are going there? It's amazing that we talk about Social Security going broke, but I never hear about the welfare system getting out or stopping funding of illegal immigration. Okay. And again, I asked Kamala, whatever the hell her name is, okay, the same question that everybody's asked her, which she has yet to answer. Okay. You've been in the office for 3.5 years. What have you done to combat this? She said, I'm not Joe Biden. Well, certainly she's under Joe Biden and not doing anything to protect it. And certainly it was interesting that she wouldn't answer the question, when did you notice that President Biden's cognitive abilities have started to slip? We didn't get an answer for that either. So I think you better think, when you go to the polls in a couple of weeks, I think you better think about things that are going on and what you're seeing, because it's 21 days before you find out if they close the border or have to pay for sex change surgery for illegal aliens. I mean, again, you've seen what's happened in the prison system, that you're paying for surgeries. You're the taxpayer. We are the bosses of these people. We have to be the ones who vote. They are not supposed to have control over us. We are supposed to have control over them. But as long as the taxpayer and you sit back and do nothing and continue to just hate on for example, hate on Trump, you're going to have this kind of system. And I think that is a much bigger problem. So it's up to you. Think about it. But certainly, I don't know anybody who says that they're doing better than they were 4 years ago. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bob Words. We're going to step out for a break, and we'll be back with our market report right after the break. What's up, kids? Of course, I hope you're having a great week. And of course, I want to talk to you about our sponsors. You know, they're brokerage partners. And of course, I have other brokers, just to give you full disclosure, but I do prefer TRADIER brokerage. And I do prefer Capital Trading Group. They're both very good for us. They're good for our business. They're good for you. They're cheaper commissions. In fact, TRADIER's $10 a month saves me about $100,000 a year. So again, check them out. They're on the website, scrolling down. And of course, our high school program, which we're trying to educate people on finance and educate our children. So maybe we can get out of this mess that has been created over the last, 100 years, whatever it is. I mean, we keep kicking the can down the road. So check it out. We'd like your help if you can. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and we'll have our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 20th of October. And of course, markets had another higher week. I'm going to say, and I don't make predictions, but I'm going to call a top is very close. Okay. I think that we are very close to the top of the market. They're very much extended. And I don't mean that we're going to collapse. I mean that you're going to see some pretty significant selling. I could see a 4, 5, 6% sell off. Okay. I could see more, but right now that's what I'm looking for. I think we're way too extended and markets are way too thin, but we'll see. But in the meantime, the VIX continues to get crushed, which means that there's no volatility and there's no volume and no action, which has been the case. But in the things that we do trade, we don't trade the dollar, and not for any reason other than it's just too expensive, but we would be long dollars right now. Euro currency, we're long, which you can sometimes say, well, how can you be long both? Well, sometimes the patterns work out that way. Bitcoin, which has expanded and exploded higher, we are short. Gold, we are short, which again, gold has been great, and I expect it to go higher, but I do expect a pullback. I think it is, again, overextended like the markets. Silver is higher. We would be long if we were in a position, but we are flat. Again, that can change tomorrow, as you know. Platinum is higher as well. Again, we don't trade anymore because it's not liquid enough, but certainly it would be a long position. Copper, we are long, or would be long, but we are flat. We are flat a lot of things. We've made some adjustments to the lack of business in the market. The grain markets have been struggling once again. Okay, we would be short all grains, but we are actually short corn in cattle, which we don't trade, but I do. It continues to push higher. It's amazing in this economy, but it was down for the week, even though it looked pretty good on Friday. And of course, hogs, I think, are a little bit overbought. I think they should probably come down a little bit. And the softs we don't cover anymore. But the commodities are rising. Okay, everywhere but the grain markets, commodities are going higher, which is telling you that there's inflation. Of course, crude oil has been under a little bit of pressure, and natural gas as well. I think crude is a short for now, and natural gas is a long for now. And again, I think you've seen orange juice explode. And just to remind you that was more of a reaction, because the orange juice doesn't come from Florida. The bulk of the orange juice comes from Brazil. And of course, again, I think that there's probably a good chance we'll see a sell-off. So I'm going to play this market probably to the short side. In the meantime, let's step out for our final break. We'll come back with our commentary and, of course, our football picks. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, October the 20th. Welcome back to our sponsors and, of course, Trader Brokerage, Capital Trading Group. And now let's get back and go to our commentary. Welcome back, everybody. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, October the 20th. And of course, I opened up with it's Trump's fault, and we continue to blame Trump. Now, did you ever ask yourself the question, if everybody hates him so much and everybody's against him and the economy sucks, inflation's exploding, we're in debt, did you ever think maybe they want to keep us that way? Did you ever think that maybe the reason that everybody is against Trump, all the politicians and the Democratic Party is so much against him and trying to break him through the court system? Did you ever think that maybe he could help? Did you ever think, I mean, I know for the 4 years he was in office, things were pretty good, okay? But did you ever think that it's always Trump's fault? Isn't that getting a little bit old? I mean, he's not a politician. He's not in office. So how could everything still be his fault, okay? I think you got to ask yourself some very important questions. Again, I don't care which side you sit on, but if you're a Jew and you're voting for Harris, who they're trying to disband Israel, okay, I think that's a problem, okay. And I think when you have to have a former president come out and talk about a certain race, that if you don't vote for Harris, you're something else. I mean, again, I think you got to really ask yourself, why are they pressing so hard on everything is Trump's fault? Okay. He is the betting favorite in the betting market. Now, that's better than any poll you're going to get because that's for real money. So think about that, and think about it when you go to the polls. Again, I'm not going to tell you to vote for. You know who I'm voting for. There's no question about it, because I'm tired of my hard-earned tax dollars going into the shithouse. Okay, that's my problem. Okay, I don't want to support illegal immigration. I don't want to support other countries. I want to take care of the United States of America. That's the way that I look at it. And again, the decision eventually is up to you, and I can never fault you for what your opinion is, but you should always be open to other opinions. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, and of course, it is Football Sunday. We like two games today, Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. The Eagles are a favorite, the Lions are a dog. And to all of you, have a great weekend, enjoy, and we'll see you back here, of course, tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, and of course, next Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.